Welcome back to your Wealthy Mindset, where we talk about all things money, mindset, and business. As your host, Cindy, and today we're talking about a topic that so many of us have been conditioned to accept as normal: using credit cards to pay for everything. We've been programmed to swipe first and think later. Need groceries? Put it on the card. Shopping spree? Just tap your card. Vacation? Just charge it on the credit card. We've been led to believe that credit is the only way to live, that we need credit cards to survive, and that building credit means using our credit cards nonstop. But what if I told you that is one of the biggest financial traps that are keeping women stuck? Today, we're breaking down how we've been conditioned to rely on credit cards, the emotional side of credit card spending, how to take back control of your finances without falling into debt, why a line of credit could be a smarter option over high interest credit card debt. So let's dive in. From the moment we stepped into adulthood, credit cards are thrown at us. Banks offer student credit cards right away before they even have jobs. Retail stores push you to open a store card at checkout to save 20% today. We're told that we need to build our credit score, and the only way to do that is getting a credit card and using credit. And here's the thing: nobody questions this. We just start swiping and paying minimum payments because that's what we're told to do. And before you know it, people are drowning in debt, living off of credit, and paying ridiculous interest rates on things they don't even remember buying or even using. But here's what nobody tells you: you don't need a credit card debt to build your credit. What you need is financial literacy, smart money habits, and a plan. So, credit card debt isn't just about numbers, it's really emotional. Some people swipe because it gives them a quick dopamine hit, instant gratification for buying something. Others use it as a safety net, convincing themselves they'll pay it off later. And for many, credit cards cover so much financial stress because people don't have the cash up front and they don't want to face a reality once it comes to paying that credit card balance off. And let me tell you, I've been there. When I was working 9 to 5, I wasn't really tracking anything. Money came in and money went out straight to my credit card. Food, gas, shopping, nights out, it all went on my card. And my paycheck was just designed to pay off my credit card because that's what you do, right? Until one day, I started looking at my balance and realized I had no idea what I was actually spending my money on. And I had to shift my entire mindset around money to break free from that cycle. So here's the problem with credit cards and the reward points trap, because let's be honest, that's another reason why so many people use their credit card. We get tricked into thinking I'll just put everything on my card to collect points and then I'll just pay it off. And sure, if you're disciplined, this can work, but the reality is most people don't pay their balances in full every single month. And guess what? Those reward points aren't even worth the interest that you're paying. Here's an example. You might get 1% back in points, but pay 20% in interest. Now, how does that make sense? That free flight or cashback bonus is not free if you're constantly carrying a balance on your card. Credit card companies bank on you slipping up, carrying a balance, and paying them more in interest than you'll ever get in rewards in your lifetime. So, what's the alternative? If you're carrying high interest credit card debt, here's what I suggest instead. Get a line of credit with a lower interest rate. Lines of credit usually have an interest rate about 6 to 10% compared to 20% plus on credit cards. And if you're in credit card debt now and you're serious about paying it off, a line of credit could be a better way to consolidate your debt at a lower rate, make larger payments instead of getting stuck in minimum payments, stop credit cards from draining your cash flow every single month. Now, this is how you start using credit strategically instead of letting it use you. Another thing you could do is actually have a certain amount of cash that you're spending on certain things. Now, let's say, for example, groceries or food. If you tell yourself, I have $500 worth of cash that I can only spend to that, and you track that, then you'll be able to pay off that amount on your credit card. So just being really strategic with it, or just withdrawing cash. I know a lot of us don't rely on cash anymore, or using your debit card often. I remember my grandpa, he would always say, like, he's never had a credit card. He would use his debit card for everything. And he would say, if you don't have the money, then why are you using your credit card? So either using cash and restricting on how much you spend on things, or as soon as you run out of cash for that certain thing, you're not spending any more on it. So really coming up with a plan that will work for you and that you can sustain. Now, if you're stuck in that credit card cycle and have no idea where to start, here's how to take back control. Stop using your credit as your default. Ask yourself, would I still buy this if I had to pay for it in cash? Also, take a pause. You don't have to buy something right away online just to get that quick dopamine hit. Really take a pause. Give yourself a day or two in between to really think about that purchase before you buy it. And if you wouldn't pay cash for it, you're likely just spending out of habit, not necessity. You need to separate your personal and business finances. So many women use their personal credit cards for business, keeping them in a cycle of just spending. So open a dedicated business account, start tracking where your money is actually going, and build an emergency fund so credit isn't always your backup, and having that line of credit just in case. Start with 1 month's expenses saved in a savings account so that when life happens, you're not reaching for your credit card. Pay off your balance in full or create a real debt strategy. So if you're carrying a balance, list all your debts, focus on one at a time, stop adding new charges. The goal isn't to never use your credit card again, it's about using them intentionally. Rich women don't rely on credit cards to fund their lifestyle. They use money as a tool and a resource. So if you're using a card, have the cash ready to pay it off or don't use it. Don't carry debt for things that don't make you money. There's so many things that we buy, like purses, designer, clothing, that don't really do anything for you or actually make you money. So don't carry debt for those kind of things. Get comfortable spending only what you actually have. This is about taking control and not being controlled by credit. So we are so conditioned to swipe, tap, and pay later that most people don't even realize that they're in a financial trap because they're not really thinking about it. It's just like an automatic response. Anywhere you go, even online, you just tap, you don't really realize it. Whereas if you had physical cash in your hand that you had to separate it from, you would most likely be more attached and think about it. When you start making money decisions with intention, everything will change for you, I promise you. You're going to stop spending mindlessly. You stop feeling trapped by debt. You actually keep more of your money. So let me help you break that cycle. If this episode hit home for you, send me a DM and let's talk about your money plan. Because you are not meant to live in a cycle of debt and never get ahead or build real wealth. Until next time, ditch the debt, own your money, and step into your rich girl energy. And also, if you found this episode relatable or helpful, share it with a friend who also needs to hear it, and I'll see you next time.